Hello and welcome to another Analysis Behind the News, where we provide the perspective that you can use to help save American liberty and independence. Late last week, President Trump made his first official visit to Southeast Asia. He attended a trade summit held by the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation, also known as APEC. APEC is a regional body of 21 nation members who work on regional economic integration through multilateral trade agreements. All of this supports the goal of globalization that sees an increasing amount of entangling alliances between countries, which strips away the sovereignty of each individual country. And at some point, each of these countries will no longer be able to govern themselves without first consulting with its integrated partners. And yes, the U.S. is a founding member. Recall that Trump pulled the U.S. out of the Trans-Pacific Partnership during his first week of office. So the speech he gave at this summit was described by the New York Times as a pitch for an America First trade policy. In regards to trade relationships, Trump said, "We seek robust trade relationships rooted in the principles of fairness and reciprocity. When the United States enters into a trading relationship with other countries or other peoples, we will, from now on, expect that our partners will faithfully follow the rules just like we do. We expect that markets will be open to an equal degree on both sides, and that private industry, not government planners, will direct investments." He made several references to allowing that free market to dictate trade relationships in order to have fair and equal trade. He pointed out the unfairness and exploitation that has occurred through the World Trade Organization and said that these chronic trade abuses will no longer be tolerated and that the United States will no longer turn a blind eye to violations, cheating, or economic aggression. And he also pointed out, in addition, we must uphold principles that have benefited all of us, like respect for the rule of law, individual rights, and freedom of navigation and overflight, including open shipping lanes. These principles create stability and build trust, security, and prosperity among like-minded nations. Unfortunately, these like-minded nations are not so like-minded. APEC's membership is filled with corrupt governments that are only looking to line their own pockets through the well-heeled machine of globalization. Now, Trump sounded like a constitutionalist when he remarked, "What we will no longer do is enter into large agreements that tie our hands, surrender our sovereignty, and make meaningful enforcement practically impossible." During his trip to China, Trump announced that 37 major investment deals were being awarded to 30 CEOs of huge American corporations, many of which have fared economically well from government contracts, loans, and protections that are not afforded to other companies within their industries. Chinese press were quick to report that the tough-talking American president was very conciliatory to Chinese President Xi Jinping, suggesting that this was due to getting China to exert more pressure on North Korea. However, Trump's stance on trade relations was not lost on the press. The Financial Times said in a headline, "Globalization marches on without Trump." And the Wall Street Journal declared, "Trump declares new world trade order," which was picked up by and republished by many other media outlets, although Trump never did mention the phrase New World Order in his speech. All of this is very reminiscent of the 2016 presidential campaign that was billed as globalism versus Americanism. Will we see America being put first? And has there really been such a shift in world trading politics? As referenced by the media, globalization forces are not slowing down. You might say that they have decided to double down and uncloak their true motives. For instance, talks for finalizing the TPP continue, with the name of the agreement being changed to the Comprehensive and Progressive Trans-Pacific Partnership. And Canada is using this opportunity to focus its efforts to cover what it calls areas of concern regarding labor rights, environmental protection, gender issues, and the auto trade. So herein lies the rub. Socialistic countries are using these trade agreements to codify and regulate social experiments in other countries as the cost of doing business with their country. Given that our founders have limited the powers of the federal government through the Constitution, we must not be pulled into the globalist swamp of entangling alliances, or the government will rapidly continue to expand beyond its constitutional limitations. So what's at stake here? No less than American independence and liberty. As Trump said in his APEC speech, the United States adheres to the rules, but other countries do not. Globalists are quick to offer a solution to this. Create court tribunals and other ruling bodies of government a layer above those of member countries. And Mr. Arthur Thompson wrote about this in his book called International Merger by Foreign Entanglements. He talks about the dangers to American independence and liberty. We encourage you to buy a copy of this today at shopjbs.org. So let's hold President Trump to his promises of keeping America first. Call him and Congress and tell them that the only way to keep America first regarding NAFTA is just to get out of it. Then head over to jbs.org/NAFTA to follow up with an email and sign up for our e-alerts so we can help you stay on top of this important efforts. URLs are in the description of this video. If you like what we do, then be sure to share this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Until next time, we'll see you then.